Good afternoon. This is Dr. Bill White again with you. It's on a Saturday afternoon here in beautiful little Glen Rose, Texas. And I am with the American Orthodontic Society. This is a group of pediatric and general dentists that study and do orthodontics and teach orthodontics. And I'm board certified in both this organization and also in the International Association of Orthodontists as a similar group. But anyway, regardless of that, I want to talk to you about closing space on patients that have missing teeth or just have maybe they've lost them from decay or other things like that, but a lot of them are just congenitally missing several of their teeth. And if they have any teeth behind these teeth that we can slide forward and put into the space, we do that instead of pushing the others back and extracting your wisdom teeth. We slide them forward, and this is I started this years ago. I mean, this little girl came into me in 1971, and that's several years ago. You know, we started doing this, and I went into nothing but orthodontics in 1970. So let's take a look at what we did. Even back then, it was just common sense as to what I could do with the teeth, and it can be the same with you. You don't have to have it written down in a book somewhere, somebody that's done 100 double-blind studies to tell you what to do. You know what needs to be done, and rather than throw away these teeth, it doesn't make good sense to me. So let's just to get the idea across that we're going to use these teeth. They're just as good as any tooth. Don't think that a wisdom tooth isn't a good tooth. It's made at the same factory. It made the best one you've got there, and you can chew with them even better. So let's get on here with this, and I'll try to stay on the subject. As I get older, it's harder to do. All right, I'm going to have to go back here and get this little button going again. It kind of went out on me, and I think I've got it there now. Okay, got our little marking pen. This is a neat little girl. She's just full of life, and she's just a wonderful patient. Everybody in the office enjoyed her. She came in, she's about 12 or about at 12, and she was missing 9 and I say a half tooth. She had one little peg lateral over on the right side of the mouth. The other lateral was completely gone, and then she also had 4 bicuspids missing and 4 wisdom teeth missing. So that's 9 and a half. I say a half tooth. We crowned that little peg lateral, and it worked out great. And she's just a neat little girl, and I like working with people and talking with them and get to know them. And a lot of these young people, you almost kind of grow up with them and try to encourage them in their life's endeavor and make smiles for these people where they can feel comfortable out among people if you possibly can. And I want to say we're having this virus problem today, and these masks that we wear every day, and we wear them at school, you know, they cover the face up like this. I mean, it hides the smile, and a lot of times you can't look at the eyes of somebody and tell whether they're really happy or joking with you or when they're talking to you and things like of this nature. So the masks are having some effect on our orthodontic patients, and it's having an effect on the personality of our young people that are going to school and associating with people and trying to learn how to get along with everybody, and they can't see their faces. It's hard to be normal in this situation, but that's a problem for this the virus we've had. It's changing a lot of things in the world. The whole world's going. But look at this little gal, and she's got a winning smile, and we just love to kid her and joke with her, and she'd come in, and we would just carry on over and everything. And she got to where she liked us, and she just would. You'd say something and joke at her, and she'd come right back with something else to get you. She just didn't take any nonsense off of us at all there at the office. But anyway, she's missing these teeth. All right, let's take a look at her models, and then I'll show you the X-rays. And take instant look here. This started in 1971, and that's 29 years from 200, and we're at 200 and way on down the line in 200 now. So this was a long time ago, and we did what I didn't know. It wasn't written down in a book and showed me that you could do this. We just looked at it. It's common sense what it said. So I just thought, well, I could widen this space out and crown this little peg lateral. So we did. We got a tooth missing right here. So I'm going to take this cuspid and go back this direction and push this over a little bit and open up the gap, and we're going to put a lateral tooth in this portion right here. Now back in the back where we're missing the second bicuspid, we'll drag the 6-year molar forward and close that space, and then the wisdom tooth will come in from the back side and fill in the other space. Now these are two deciduous molars that are ankylosed, and you can't do much with these teeth. You can't move them. They're ankylosed and grown to the bone. If it had to be moved, you could luxate them, but you mess with them and you'll lose the bone real quick. Normally, you can crown them and leave them in for a while, and she'll still lose these teeth. And nearly everybody I know does lose those teeth. So we didn't try to do that. Now we go here, same thing. She's got the two deciduous second molars that are ankylosed and are not growing down with the other teeth. And the other teeth are going down too far. The bite's closed, so we'll have to push this up a little bit and this down a little bit. And we're going to drag this on the bottom now. We're just going to drag this 6-year molar all the way up here. And this one too, we'll bring it up to that direction. We'll go up with these and line them up. I'm going to open this gap right here and bring these teeth from the bottom down, and these go up right there. I don't need to tell you all that. You've got it in many a case that we've done. And it's a joy to me to think that, and I get letters and you write back on the email and everything, how you have taken this knowledge or whatever you want to call it and used it and helped people, and that's a real satisfaction to me. And so I don't get to answer everybody. I can't possibly do all that stuff, but you just know here that I appreciate very much having all these people out there, wherever you are in the world. I can touch and help you. I want to. I'm not trying to mislead you in anything. I'm just doing the best I know how to teach people all over the world what can be done, and it's amazing what we've turned up several things that we thought you couldn't do. We went ahead and did them, you know. And so here we'll go on with this now. The same thing over here. These are deciduous teeth. We're going to take them out, and don't wait 6 weeks to go in and start moving this forward. We want to, actually it's best if you get somebody right close and take this tooth out, pack it with something to stop the bleeding, but have your braces and everything on to start with, and start moving this tooth into this gap immediately. Nowadays we have these little screws that you can go in the cortical bone down here and put a screw in there that'll come up something like this. Just be out away from the tooth, and then bond that screw, they call them tads. I don't know why they want to call them tads, you know. It's nothing but a screw. I guess they feel better charging you $50, $60 a piece for them if you call them a tad. But it's a small screw, sometimes made out of titanium, but they can be made out of stainless steel too. Okay, we're going to do that, and we'll start moving this. Now, I did not want this bicuspid to go back in here, so we joined them all together back here, and we put her in a reverse headgear, which is a kind of a chin cup. You put down around here, and it's got some legs sticking up. I'll show you the picture after a while. And you hook on it, and you pull these teeth forward by pulling back on this, and this rears down, and it is pushed down, and what pulls the teeth forward, it pulls this strap down on your head. It doesn't pull hard enough to make a groove in your head, but that's where the force is going to come from. That's going to bring this up. The wisdom tooth will follow it, and it'll all come in, and she'll have a full set of teeth. And I wish I knew where she is today. If she gets a hold of these videos, happens to find it, if you know somebody that knows her, tell her to give us just drop a line on the computer to us. We would love to hear from you. And so this is 1971, and here's the upper arch. These are the two ankylosed deciduous teeth that we're going to have to get out, and the permanent second bicuspids are missing. This is the first bi, and we come up here, the lateral is gone here. So this cuspid is moved way up, this is followed, so we're going to have to restore this. So we're going to not move this tooth forward very much. We're going to go back with this and back with this one over here. So we're not going to tug on this side as much as we would on the other side, or else we'll put a spacer in here to hold this open for to keep it from coming forward quite as much as the other side over here. So we want these teeth to go back into this space right here. And this little jewel right here is tough and strong, and we crown that. We open this gap up, and we're going to put a lateral tooth in this area right here. Right in this area, right there. And let's go ahead with it. Now this is just plain common sense. And why people say, well, they can't do that, I don't know, wasn't taught that at school. You don't have to be taught that you can take this tooth and move it. Somebody might tell you, you can't put this tooth there. Well, they are dead mistaken. I mean, you can put that tooth up here if I really wanted to work on it that long. You could move it up there and not just tilt it. You could carry it up there bodily. We've shown you how to close space on these teeth. Now, let's go on the lower now, these lower deciduous second molars are bigger. So we got a longer way to go here. Now this little girl had a bunch of cavities when we started. So we had to send her back to her referring dentist and have him go in and fill all these teeth before we got started, and have her take really good care of them after we had that done. All right, so this is still 1971 here. Let me erase that. And now the bite is closed, and it's where we really would like to have more room. This is a closed bite, so we're going to lower these teeth right in here as we come forward, and we're going to raise the upper teeth a little bit and end up with a little bit of overjet. Now it's up here like this, and we're going to come down and slide this out and come down to where we have the right amount of overjet and overbite in finishing this out. I'm taking a little longer time maybe than I know that I have many people out there that are way into orthodontics, and I'm killing your time, but there are many other people that have not done this, so we're trying to get everybody behind as fast as I can, and hopefully those that need to go over the video more than once. I mean, you can go over it many times if you want to. So I start closing the space here. Really, I like to put my appliance on now. We've started that. I didn't do that then. And then start this tooth into this space immediately. Now, if you don't want this to go back at all, today you put a little screw down in the cortical bone out here. It goes up and has a head on the screw, something like that. Then etch this tooth good and put some good composite around it, and this will be out to the buccal or outside, so that this tooth, this 6-year molar, can be moved up almost in contact with this tooth. And I can show you how to move this tooth and bring the root along with the crown. And we'll cover that. I've done it before. It's in there. If you just find it, the moving, closing space on teeth like this. All right, we're going to close up the upper, the lower, and we want to open this space some, so we need to move this back a little. And over here, we got to open a lot of space on this side. All right, you go down to the rest. I have to look down to punch these keys, but I wish I had you as an audience. I like to look at the people that I'm trying to get across a point that we want to do. I want to take this cuspid and have this thing somewhere around out in here with the root going distal slightly. It'll be way on up in here. And so this is, we're going to move it back, but don't move the crown back and leave the root sticking up here. You got to take this root back and have it tilted in this direction. And then you line the first bicuspid up with it, and now you pull the 6-year molar right up against the first bicuspid, right in there, and you'll have to put a bridge, and we're going to swing this lateral bridge, or I recommend to the dentist, and let him decide what he wants to do here. And we'll put a cantilever bridge off of this big cuspid onto that there and crown this little tooth right here. We've said some of this stuff 3 or 4 times. And don't wait until that heals up and everything. I prefer nowadays, if we were to do that, of course I'm not doing it now, we put the brackets and everything in the mouth, and you'll extract the teeth come back in, pack this. When it stops bleeding enough we can go, we put the appliance in, and we start this tooth to moving that day. The bone structure around that hole is narrow right in here, and we want to slide that tooth right in there before this has a chance to come in like this, and you leave it alone long enough and it'll come in there, and you'll have what we call a knife edge ridge. It's a thin layer of bone right there, which is very difficult to move a tooth into, but you can. It'll move in and carry its own bone with it. So that's what we're trying to prevent. And the people want to get through, and we close the space quick in a lot of these cases. All right, here it is. The teeth are out. The bicuspids are rotated. The peg lateral, the cuspid is way over there. I mean, you see where this cuspid is here, and you see where that one is drifted to. This is drifted behind it. You see this bicuspid, this cuspid right here. In fact, this space over here is up here, and it's kind of in an angle. We're going to try to back all this stuff up, you see, and we're going to use some headgear in trying to do this. All right, that's closed it out, and here she is. All right, now this is the instrument we used. In 1971, nobody was putting these screws in, or at least not in our area. I didn't know anybody that was putting these little tads or screws in. We were using a headgear to do it. And the headgear works good, but it has to be worn. Now, she knew what the problem was. She's had good sense. I mean, you've got gaps all around in your teeth here. If I just close those together, the front end of your face is going to move in with it. It closes and you're going to look bad. So she will understand that. But if you will wear this thing, it pushes against your chin, and that pushes the condyle against the fossa up here, but it brings the back teeth to the front. In fact, you can take the whole blooming set of teeth and pull them forward with this, what we call a Hickam chin cup. And it puts a lot of force on the chin. This force is, you can bend this wire where it looks like it's touching there. That's her hearing, her earrings. And this comes around on the ear, comes up here and has a hook. Now, what you do when you're wearing this thing, you take and flip the hair in a forward direction. Now you put this strap across here, and it's pressing on the other side the same way. Now you throw the hair back over here, and you don't see anything. You don't see this, even down to here. You see this little wire here, and this cup in this area, and you're pulling on the back teeth, bringing the back teeth to the front. And if you just put a little pressure on these teeth, now if you put too much and the person's got a tender joint up here where the fossa is like that and the condyles setting up in here, and you press on this too hard, your retrodiscal tissues in here, and you impinge on the blood flow and the blood supply in this area, you mess up the jaw joint, you have trouble with it. So some of these people cannot wear this. They can wear it during the daytime when their muscles hold it out here, but to go to sleep and relax at night, and that force goes back there against that will get irritated and they will have temporomandibular joint problems. So you know that can happen. You put it on, tell them about it. We want her to wear it as much as she can, and don't put too much pressure. In other words, the force on the rubber band coming out from the teeth where it's on the teeth in here. It's coming forward over here. It's pulling back on the top part, and this is pulling back on the lower part of this. It's pulling it in. It's pivoting off the chin down in this area. Now, the force you put on there, if you put too much, it'll break the tissue out in the chin. I put Kleenex a lot of times under there and massage this area real good when you take it off from time to time, and keep the blood supply going, and try not to put too much pressure breaking that out. And you can move the back teeth. I don't care who they are. If you put pressure on them, I mean, people write me back. Somebody was telling me some guy said he was 25 years old and his bone had already set, and he couldn't move a tooth into an area there because he was 25 years old. I mean, this is absolutely ridiculous that somebody would be taught that. I don't know whether the guy just taught it or he just didn't want to do it, and so he told him that. But that is not true. That is, as my boy told, he keep calling his brother a liar. He said he told the untruth. So this guy told the untruth there to this young man. Now this is going on all over the world. People don't want to do some of these things, and it's because maybe they don't get paid enough, or it's hard to do it. But you can take a Hickam, and I've never have met Dr. Hickam. He was gone before I came along in here, but here she is from the front, and we would kid her and joke with her and stuff, and she would come right back at us. She was just a neat little patient. We all enjoyed her coming in, and this make you feel real good. So here we are down the line a ways, and we have put, this is where there was no tooth now. So we open this gap, and this is the cuspid, and this is the central, and they were together. And so we have opened this completely, put a plastic tooth in here, band the blooming thing, bond a bracket on it, whatever you want to. Now we got brackets, so we'd bond the bracket on that tooth, put it in here, and you can torque it a little bit, and this part will this absolutely, after you wear it a while, this portion of this tooth will get into the gum, and you can look at it yourself, and you can't tell it's a that gum false tooth. And I had a young lady that had first started to work, and we had her we showed her how to take the arch wire off, how to clip the nail, and she went on this patient, she took the arch wire out, and this tooth fell out, and she screamed. She thought she had pulled the tooth out, you see, and it was just a false tooth. The end of it was kind of embedded in the tissue, just pressed in there like that. These are funny things that happen in the dental office sometimes. All right, so that's there, and now we've opened this gap for this crown over here on that peg lateral, and we had to spread this area out in here to make it big enough for a crown that would match the crown that we were going to put on the other side of the mouth. And we'll run through this fast. Now you see now somebody asked you, is it easier to do bracketed orthodontics or to band the teeth? And that is a ridiculous question. That person wouldn't have to do anything except band half a dozen cases, and then they will know why. I mean, you take your old thumb that you pushed in there now you'd have gloves on. We didn't even wear gloves then. And my thumb would just be callous there where I shoved brackets up on the teeth with it, you know, and get cut a little bit. All right, here you had to make one. You cut a brand, you squeeze it down, you spot weld it together, and you got it where it would fit on this little peg lateral tooth. You had to make the band fit the tooth, and we just have the rest of it banded. Now here, I don't see a date on this, but we've got all the teeth, and this is a wisdom. No, let me see. Now we were missing the wisdom tooth, or else we had a late erupting 12-year molar, because it was 12 years old and that tooth was still up in there. So you don't know whether to call it a wisdom tooth or a late erupting 12-year molar, but it was just two of the teeth that were in here, and something's missing in here, either a 12-year molar or a wisdom tooth, but we've taken the other two and pulled them up and closed this space. We move, this is the false tooth right here, so we have moved these teeth back into this area, and now these teeth are lined up across here. This is lateral here and the central here. The 6-year molar and the 12-year molar are going to be back in this same area. And we've done this, I don't see the date, but I don't think it took us a year and a half or something, maybe less time than that, to get that done. Now here's the bottom. We've closed up there. The lower wisdom teeth have not come in yet, but they will come in, and we've closed it completely up. You remember this tooth was sitting way back here, and we pulled this and let this drift, and we could have actually, as we pull this, we could have pulled on this too to keep it from coming back. If you didn't want the face in at all, you could pull these teeth forward at the same time you pull this back here with this Hickam chin cup right there. You can go back and look at that. There it is, you see. So we went in here and put the elastic on it. You regulate. You want the rubber bands to run through the in between the lips where the lips normally close. You don't want to have the rubber band pulling them down like this or pulling them up like this. You want to go right through the area. So you slide this up and down, and you get that rubber band coming right through here, and just that gentle force of that. Now if it breaks out the chin, you got too much force. So you got to come off of one down here and also shorten, lengthen the deal to go across the head up there, so that the point right in here is where this thing rotates. And most of this is just, you take somebody through this, it's just, there's a lot of common sense in doing orthodontics. But there's a lot of people doing orthodontics must not have much common sense, or else they are too lazy to use the common sense. And so I want you to know, if you have something you want them to do, whoever's working on your teeth, and you can take them and show them these darn videos. I mean, if they don't know how to do it, they need to learn how to do it. And then they can learn from that. And if they just refuse to want to learn it, I don't know whether you got anybody to go to or not. But it can be done, and you can show it to somebody. And if they're concerned about your teeth and about doing these things, they will do it. They will learn how to do it. We've got so much trouble going on in the world today that orthodontics sometimes is shoved back and not used. But you look really inside a person, and you won't find anybody that doesn't want to look nice. I mean, it's very rare that you'd find anybody that wants to look terrible up here in the front of the mouth. So these masks are having some effect on it. working on people, and it's having an effect on a lot of things in life today. So we're going to hush up here, and we're going to, there's how that pull those 6-year molars up. Now, I a lot of times hook over here and come in and tie something up in here, and I hook it here, and pull on this tight as I pull this. I don't want this tooth to turn in this direction. You see, it can turn in that direction and rotate, but if you get the other tooth in here and join it into this, it works all right. And so as we're pulling this up, we want to kind of tip the end of this arch wire in so that it counteracts the pressure from this that wants to tip the teeth out, and you got the arch wire that's kind of tipping it in back there. Just another common sense thing that you do in orthodontics. Oh, sorry. Okay, we'll erase that and go on. Now here is the thing from the start. This is age 12, and this is 1971. And that's 71 to 100 is like it's 29 years. And then from 0 to where we are now, you add that together, and that's a good many years. This person right here is no spring chicken nowadays. So if you are this person and you see, I don't want to give your name out here, but I wish to goodness you would call me. You were a witty little girl, and the whole staff liked you. Now she's got some pretty bad cavities in here, and we had to have those all filled, and she has to learn how to take care of them better, or she won't have them in that length of time. All right, now let's see. Now okay, there's the space we're going to have. This gap but here to here, and we're going to go up with this and down with this, and bring it across like that. All right, now watch where they go. The teeth are gone now. The lower teeth come up to about here, and the upper teeth come down about there. In other words, she's got enough overjet and overbite to bite off something with her front teeth, and these teeth won't touch. Now this is a wisdom tooth, and some people will look at this, well, you're going to have to bridge it, or you're going to have to do something else. Leave the cotton picking thing alone. Watch what happens to this tooth. Now as we move the second molar forward, normally it will follow and stay right up. Sometimes it doesn't. We can pull it over there and angle it up. All right, this is number 2. She's age 13 and 72. Now it's 73. She's 14. The space is all closed. But look where the wisdom tooth is. Look at this gap behind it. This one's just forming over here. So this must be a wisdom tooth. She's missing a 12-year molar, not a wisdom tooth. So that she's 14 years old, so she's missing 12-year molars, and also the bicuspid, the first bicuspid, is missing a tooth in here. Okay, and we put a false tooth on this area, so we've got to want to crown this one right there. 9.5 teeth. But if it's for me, I'd rather have my permanent teeth in there to stay with me the rest of my life if I take care of them, everything. And that's what happens. All right, there is this wisdom tooth, And here is this wisdom tooth. This is 05. And let me go back. See where they are? Now this is 1973, but this is 11/5 of 73. She's 14. Now, here it is, it's 05. So several years have passed in here. This wisdom tooth has drifted up. I hope that's not decay there. It may not be. This tooth moved up here, and if you wanted to put a little tube on that today and put a deal in there, just a wire in there, had a deal like that on it, run that here, you raise that up and hook it on something you bonded on, and you can tilt this tooth back so quick it wouldn't be any problem. Or you can just put a separator in here, it'll push it back, and then it comes forward again. It'll line it up better than it is there. So these are little things that you watch during the post-treatment, taking care of the king. This is a cantilever bridge for the rest of it. And there it is, another, it's 05. And this was starting out in 71. And that's our little girl. And that's it. That's all the pictures I have on her. I appreciate very much getting to talk with you this evening. It does me good to think that you may take this and do this to many, many, many people, rather than this child going through life and putting a bunch of bridges in there or leaving those baby teeth, and then they'll fall out when she's about 30 or 40 or something. But people are living a long time now and doing things, and you need to keep these teeth. And she is a neat patient, and if she sees this, I hope she'll write us back, or somebody that knows her give us a note back about it. So I'll say goodbye, and hope you have a good weekend, and I hope nobody catches this virus, or if you've caught it, you'll be able to get over it, and I hope I don't catch it too. So I'm going to say goodbye, and we'll holler at you later, and I hope you'll join our group and subscribe to it.